Welcome to Geeks Corner. I'm Mr. Daps.
I'm Katie.
And we're so excited that you're here tonight in the last Tuesday of May.
I was like, the last what?
Otherwise known as Star Wars Month.
I thought I was about to get like kicked off Geeks Corner or something.
No, nothing like that.
I don't know. Like when you were like, oh, the last, I was like, am I about to be jobless?
You never know. I was just coming up with something that made tonight special. What should people do, Katie?
You should go, I'm so sorry I had to yawn at the same time I got asked that question.
Mm-hmm.
You should go into the chat and say hi. Say what you're looking forward to in the next month, in the month of June. Indiana's birthday already passed, so you can't say that.
Or you could also tell us what your favorite part of Fantasmic is.
I mean,
we're going to be talking about that tonight, and it will be a lot of fun. But before we get to that, there is something you also should do, and that is go to chalkwalk.org/dapsmagic. Join our team or just support it. Either way is fine. We would love to partner with you and make a difference for the children of Chalk. That happens on July 21st, bright and early. And we will be walking through the parks wearing hats in bright colors. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add? Hats. Yes, that is true. But yes, we are going to talk about Fantasmic tonight. It has returned after a little bit over a year hiatus. And we were there opening night to cover all of Fantasmic in its return. We covered it with 3 cameras. We had me and Angela and Doug all placed around the rivers of America for the first showing of Fantasmic. We've got the video up if you want to go check it out. But Katie, what did you think about the return of Fantasmic in its well, actually, let's ask this question first. Is it 2.5 or 3.0 now?
2.5.
Is it? Okay.
It's 2.5.
Okay.
It's not finished.
Sure.
It's 2.5.
Okay.
What did you
think of it?
New enough elements and not finished that it gets 2.5. If it had a new element to the finale, it'd be 3.0, in my opinion. Anywho.
Okay.
I loved it. I would also like to say, this is just funny. If no, I can't stop talking with a vocal fry now that I showed you the video. If there's ever something big happening on a Disney property, right? So like, say Splash Mountain closes, say Fantasmic comes back, say the first day of the holidays, please know that I'm a big old dum-dum and I will have picked up a shift at Downtown Disney. Just know that that's how that happens. And I will pick up whatever time of day happens to coincide with whatever's happening. So I happened to pick up a closing shift at Downtown Disney on Friday, the first day of Fantasmic. And I will say there was something very magical about watching that giant green flash happen again through those giant glass windows. Also, Fantasmic is just a happy show. Like, guests are happy to be there to see it. Cast members are happy that it's back. Like, I think Fantasmic is overall just such a positive thing.
And then this particular one,
I also got to see the green flash as I was driving out of work that night against the Pixar Place Hotel, which is a very beautiful white canvas for a giant green flash. And that to me felt like I was like, oh, okay, like Disney is back this summer. Like that is how I felt. I am extremely happy about it. Yeah.
And the actual show. Besides the big green flash, what did you think of
Big green flash?
Well, because they've changed some things.
Well, I haven't seen it in person yet, so I will say that.
Which is fine.
I want to see it in person. Green flash. I do stand and just stare for the green flash.
There you go.
I have not seen it in person yet, but I watched the video and I wanted to make plans to go see it very, very soon because the show itself was excellent. I'm going to do it. I'm the controversial one of Daps Magic. I know a lot of people have been saying that the show is lacking because of the way the finale is now. I don't think it's lacking at all, honestly.
It's different.
I don't think it's lacking, though. Like, I didn't watch it and go, oh, well, throw the last 20 minutes out the window. The whole show was bad. I enjoyed it. I think that if Mickey no longer said, this is my dream, I think that I would have some opinions. But it's Mickey standing up to a larger than life nightmare.
Well, and it's the culmination of all of the nightmares that he's standing up to, and I think that's fun.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you didn't know the others, I don't think you would know any difference. And that's the wonderful thing about Disney fans is every time there's something new, it gets compared to what was old. And there's always people that are like, "Oh, I love it," and there's other people that are like, "I don't like it as much." And that just kind of, I feel like, is I mean, the probably better analogy for that is when they put Pirates of the Caribbean in over Peter Pan, and now they've put Peter Pan back in over Pirates of the Caribbean, and people are stoked about the return of Peter Pan. But I was working on an article that's going to pop on Daps this weekend, and it was funny reading the comments to Fantasmic 2.0 and how much people were geeking out, and listening to the video, how much people were geeking out over Pirates of the Caribbean. And I thought that was a very interesting thing, because I'd forgotten how excited people were about Pirates of the Caribbean. I personally have always had a special place in my heart for Peter Pan, because I can remember seeing it in the early 90s. And my grandpa, who absolutely loved Peter Pan, you could see his imagination had come to realization through that segment of the show. And so I love that it's like, I personally love that part is back. And I always kind of questioned why Pirates of the Caribbean was the one live action movie in a series of animated films that are represented in the...
To me, it disrupted the flow of the show.
Yeah.
It went from, these are all of Mickey's dreams and these are heroes. And to me, I'm sure Mickey Mouse and Jack Sparrow have met, but
that would be a funny video.
In my head, I don't think that Mickey Mouse is necessarily dreaming
Maybe
about
Castaway Key or something.
Yeah.
Okay, I like this.
I don't think that Mickey in his dreams is thinking about Jack Sparrow defeating the undead crew. I think it is much more likely that Mickey Mouse in his dream, because this is all about Mickey Mouse and his dreams and his nightmares. Mickey Mouse is dreaming about Peter Pan and Wendy getting away from Captain Hook and getting the croc and all these things. And like, to me, it feels like a much more Disney moment.
And Bailey's right. Like, it is only a year out since The Last Dragon went up in flames, I guess you could say.
Literally.
Quite literally. And you think of how many years it took to develop that dragon, and it was a one-of-a-kind thing. It's not going to be something you just go back to the garage and be like, next one's done. Like, I'm sure it is a complete reimagining of whatever the end of this show is happening, probably as we speak. And I think a lot of us hope that means a dragon at some point, but maybe it's something else. Maybe Chernobog shows up, for all we know. Like, there's a lot of different things that could be cool, that are wow. Because honestly, like, that's the end of the day. As long as people go wow at the end, who cares what it is?
So I think, and this is just this is my piece I want to say about the finale. There is one audio cue that I missed, because it does need the dragon for it. And it's the cackling that goes into the oof the fire.
No, that does help.
I love that audio cue. And it has to happen with the dragon breathing fire, so it doesn't happen. That was the only thing where I was like, I love when it's the cackling and it goes into the dragon breathing fire, because that to me is so like imagination unlocked. Like, oh my god, this thing really happened right in front of you.
Yeah.
It does sound like we need to go to Disney's Hollywood Studios and go see Fantasmic with Mikey, because I saw Fantasmic at Hollywood Studios from the cheap seats.
They're
so
2.0.
I really couldn't. Yeah, I had never seen 1.0. I saw their 2.0.
And I've only seen 1.0.
And I saw it from the cheap seats, so I really couldn't see a lot of what was happening because I snuck in very last minute. But yeah, Chernobog was the planned final villain.
I believe that's also why there's a mountain. I actually think I knew that.
Huh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so that'd be a lot of fun. The other thing we got to experience while we were filming all of the Fantasmic stuff is Disney treated us to dinner so we could check out the dining package at Ranch. Where do we eat?
Rancho Zocalo?
Ranch. Yes, exactly. That is where we ate. Yep. But I had shrimp tacos. Angela had carne asada. It was delicious. The area that you sit in is pretty good. I did the math over under. It's probably like a $20-$25 meal that you get served. and then it's another $10 for the seats. And honestly, for what you got, I felt like it was a reasonable offering for $35 for adults, $25 for kids, and just the peace of mind factor I thought was a huge win in terms of that whole evening. In fact, I think that's if you're trying to like pack a ton into your day, the dining package really is a good almost I want to say insurance policy to make sure you get to see
You're not
Fantasmic
wrong.
if that's the thing you really want to do. And then it also just gets you, you're not going to be, at least at Rancho, you're not going to be waiting a ton of time to eat. So like we showed up at 6:50ish and we were done by 7:35, 7:40, went over, got our spot, watched. Like it was about as perfect as you could ask for. And we didn't really like, we waited in our spot for Fantasmic because we wanted it, like the certain spot to film. But if we just wanted to watch the show, we could have probably shown up at 7:30 or 8:30 or 8:45.
And the show was at 9.
Like you really didn't need to be there that early because there's no bad spots in that section.
That's true.
Because it's at that wonderful slope. And so like, unless you're looking to frame up a shot or like something specific, it just doesn't matter. Like, and so I was, and it's not like it's, if you had a bigger group, I guess you'd have to show up earlier, but it's not, it's full, but it's not jammed. So totally loved it.
I just wanted to ask about the menu quickly because nothing seemed safe for me. I'm a very picky eater.
You could have had the breakfast on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You would have been fine with that. I think the potato taco you'd probably be fine with. The ribs you'd probably be fine with. Even the shrimp taco, probably you would have not fit. Like I mean, it might have pushed you a little bit, but all of it was very, like there was spice, but not overpowering. Okay. Everything was very balanced, and I thought they were very smart with how they put it together.
Okay, good to know.
Another new thing that came to the parks this weekend was a droid.
Droid.
An R1 Astromech named Bard, which I think
love. Is hilarious.
Yes.
Bard, like the Dungeons and Dragons classification.
And he's there all day. Like
he's just chilling.
And occasionally he moves, like every few minutes or 5 minutes or something like that.
When he feels like he has something to say.
So we went and checked him out on Friday, waited for him to move, saw some few things with him, and we're kind of like, oh, okay, that's nice. And then he's really the fulfillment of the introduction of Fire of the Rising Moons, where the storyteller that I'm spacing the name right now is talking to Bard, and it really turns out the storyteller was recorded a long time ago, and Bard is just sharing his message. And it adds, I think, quite a bit to the show, even though it's a pretty small addition. Yeah. And
I actually thought it made the intro make even more sense for Fire of the Rising Moons.
Yeah. And I don't feel like, I mean, I'm sure it's expensive, but
yeah,
I didn't feel like it was something that anybody broke their backs over.
No.
And I thought it also was a really good addition to that like platform above the Millennium Falcon, because now there's something there. Whereas before it's just kind of that like, oh, why is this big empty space up there? I want to go. All right,
everybody, say it with me. What does Katie love in theme parks? Kinetic energy. I love kinetic energy. Also, you know that meme or the trend that's going around right now where it's like you hold up a phrase, you try to make the other person, you don't know. I'm sure.
I actually do.
Is it because I just explained it to you 5 hours ago?
Because you guys sent stuff earlier.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, he pays
attention sometimes. Yeah.
Sometimes. But I feel like I could do that. It would be like, this is what Katie loves in the theme park. And you'd be like, kinetic energy. Like, I love kinetic energy. And I think that this is actually something that Star Wars Galaxy's Edge has been severely lacking.
And I love droids.
I love droids. I've got a droid tattooed on me.
I want more droids in the park. Like, I'm already grieving the fact that Season of the Force ends on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I really like those BDX droids going away is so sad because they add so much to Galaxy's Edge.
Those droids.
Like they are just it brings so much life. Like I got to see them interacting with the First Order a week or two ago, and that was ridiculously fun. And it just it makes the stories intertwine that much more, and it creates a variable that you don't actually know what's going to happen. Droids.
Fair. Droids are kind of unpredictable.
Yeah. And there's not the same, like you kind of know what Chewie's going to do.
Mhm.
You kind of know what Rey's going to do. Like the droids, you kind of don't, just because they don't communicate the same way. And I think it's such a wonderful addition to Galaxy's Edge. And I hope we get more. Like, I know we're going to be back to one droid, well, two now because of the R1, but
True.
we'll just have basically R2D2 walking around or rolling around, and Bard introducing the fireworks at night. But that's good. We just want more. We love it. Maybe we'll get announcements at D23 of more droids.
Britney Spears once said, gimme, gimme more, gimme more, gimme, gimme more.
Speaking of more, how about more IndyCam?
Yeah.
Let's do an IndyCam.
All right.
This was This was Indiana's birthday present, which he got last Thursday on his first birthday. Enjoy. So I don't know if you can tell this completely, but the pineapple had treats inside of it that he was trying to figure out how to get out, which was what he was super excited about.
Yes. The other thing that you cannot see in that video, that is one of 3 birthday presents that he got because he's such a good boy for turning 1. He's asleep right now, but it's okay. He can hear me. He destroyed all of those toys in record time. That toy was demolished almost immediately after that video. And then I said, okay, well, time for the next one. Certainly this will last longer. That lasted about 10 seconds, maybe. And then I said, actually, sorry, they all were not destroyed that night. I then gave him one that I thought was indestructible. We all know how that goes.
Destructible.
And then the next day. But hey, he's a big 1-year-old puppy dog.
And in the coming weeks, you will see more IndyCam from his birthday, because I think there's 2 more specifically from that day that you will not want to miss. They are very good. All right, moving from birthdays to something not quite as fun. We did lose Richard Sherman on Saturday at the age of 95. Was it Saturday or was it Friday?
I think it was Saturday.
It was Saturday. And was a very sad thing. It's one of those things where you knew it was going to come someday, but you also just thought, no, it's Richard Sherman. He'll be here forever. And thanks to Daps, I've had the good fortune to interact with him multiple times through the years and do some events with him and chat with him and get to hear him play in large settings and small. And so we thought we'd share a few of those with you tonight. So this is a little bit longer than we'd normally go, but I think you'll enjoy just a few of the moments that I was able to pull together that I've had with Richard Sherman.
One little spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation, right at the start of everything that's new. One little spark lights up for you.
That all of you guys are here having a good time, I'm going to play another song that I'm very fond of that came from the same movie. And maybe if you know it, you'll help me out. Because I was afraid to speak when I was just a lad. Me father gave me these. Me father gave me those a tweak and told me I was bad. But then one day I learned a word that sang Yankee knows. The biggest word you ever heard, and this is how it goes. fantastic, expialidocious. Even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. I traveled all around the world. Everywhere I went, I used the word and folks would say there goes a clever gent. When Dukes and Maharajas pass the time of day with me, I say me special word and then pronounce me incontinent. Everybody is atrocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If we say it loud enough, we'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilistic, expialidocious. That's the verse. So when the cat has got your tongue, there's no need for dismay. Just summon up this word, and then you've got a lot to say. But when you use it carefully, or it can change your life. Well, now listen to me, girl. And now me girl's name wife. She's standing right over there, and her name is Elizabeth. Backwards. Don't just have the X's to fragicality.
And that was Richard Sherman. And there's very few people where you can say didn't just light up the room because they walked into it, but they lit up the world because they lived in it. And every time that you would come into contact with Richard Sherman, you felt a little bit better as you walked away. He was definitely one of those people that was ridiculously kind and gracious, usually had something funny to say. And it's a huge loss for the Disney community.
Yeah, I was just watching the video of the night or the day that they had Richard Sherman back in Walt's office playing Walt's piano, and he played Feed the Birds. And in it, he talks about Feed the Birds isn't just a song about a little old lady sitting at the church and feeding birds. It is about how kindness is what makes the world a better place. And he goes, and I think Walt understood that, and that's why Walt loved the song so much. And Feed the Birds is one of those songs that just will make me cry. And I just think it captures so much. You think of all the big ones. There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. It's a Small World. One Little Spark. These are all songs that kind of like encapsulate joy and happiness. And Disney at its true core, this is what it's about. And I mean, obviously, Robert Sherman was also a huge loss. And so losing the second half of the Sherman brothers was a sucker punch to the gut that I was, again, like you said, it just was not something that I even fathomed could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly. Oh yeah, Age of Not Believing.
Age of Not Believing.
Yeah, but he will definitely be missed, and we'll do a little thing at the end for him, I think. And yeah, it's a rough time for Disney community, for his family, I'm sure, and friends as well that I know were even, almost as close as family.
Yeah.
And so he will be missed, and maybe we'll put that up. We'll see. Or you can just watch it here. Finally, his dream lives on. In fact, one of the characters that he wrote a song about, probably more of them really, was in the new drone show that's at Walt Disney World that's called Disney Dreams That Soar, and they soar over Disney Springs. And our good friend Mikey Really Likey in the chat, who if you haven't subscribed to yet, you should do right now. He went and filmed it for us. And so we got to see what Disney Dreams That Soar looks like, and really showed how new technology and new ideas can do new storytelling. Mm-hmm. And I really enjoyed the show. I thought it was very fun. I think to me, it's a first step towards something bigger and better. And we were talking about it while watching it of I'd love to see fireworks probably back behind it, because I can't imagine it going super well if they were too close. But no, I thought it was a super cute show, and I like the music a lot. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing how much technology has evolved for drone shows in the last couple of years, especially the last years or two.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
I was blown away completely. I also think that this says a lot about our brains and who we are as people, is that if you put things, and you might have also just read press releases, but if you put things in front of Mr. Daps, he will categorize them. So I did not realize the characters represented were characters that fly. Did you put that together, or did you read a press release?
I think they announced that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't realize it until you went, "Oh, I guess that character flies," and I went, "Oh, yeah, obviously all these characters fly." Are you kidding me? I was very blown away. I agree that I think it's the first step to something even bigger and more amazing. I think this might be. I don't think that this is the end all be all of Nighttime Spectaculars, but I think this is stepping towards an integration of some kind, of something that we could see. And I was I'm just blown away by drones and what they can do. Like the Death Star moment, incredible. But also I think what really took my breath away was the Peter Pan segment.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no, I thought that was a really good part.
It was the way that Peter flew around Big Ben and then came out, and I was like stunned silence of
well, and the Guardians part too.
The Guardians part
similar
fun.
Sort of an effect.
Honestly, every part that passed, I'd be like, "Oh, well, that was really cool," and then something else would happen. I'd be like, "Well, that's really cool." And I also thought the music was
appropriate,
beautiful, appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Again, thank you, Mikey, for filming that. That was incredible.
And that will be running till September 2nd. If you want to see it and you don't want the insane crowds, probably not go on the weekend.
Yes.
And if you are going and you're worried about the crowds, go to the second showing, because from what I understand, that is less busy than the first one, which is pretty much standard for any show at a Disney park or beyond. But Mikey braved the crowds for us that were insane on Friday night. And from what I hear, they opened up the viewing for the first show at 8 a.m. for a 9 p.m. show that night.
Wow.
If I heard correctly. So thank you, Mikey, for doing that. Make sure to check out the video. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to end with one of Richard's songs. And I don't actually entirely know what's going to come out. I think I have an idea. And we'll see if I can hear the tune in my head. But does that work? Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta warm up my whistle. Sorry. There it is. Did it.
Did it.
That's for you, Richard. Thank you for all the music, the memories, and the magic. That is all the time we have for this week. Katie, what should people do?
Go to dapsmagic.com, check out all the Disney and geek news as it happens. Subscribe to our mailing list, find our Patreon. Lots of great stuff there and lots of great community also.
And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks that you won't want to miss. And make sure to check out that 3-camera video of Fantasmic as well while you're over there. But that is all the time we have for you this week. So we will see you round the corner.
Bye.